COVID-19 is a respiratory illness that is spread from one person to the next. And there's a lot of people having anxious feelings, and it's understandable the concerns that they have with 24/7 news coverage of the rise of confirmed cases as well as deaths. And so it's understandable that there's some concerns out there and fears that people are having. And because of that, there are people wanting to know, well, what can they do to be healthy and to boost their immune system? So I interviewed some experts who have homeopathic remedies, alternative healing remedies, in order to keep yourself healthy and to boost your immune system. And I also interviewed some people who are experts as well in fitness and nutrition in order to provide some options for us on what we can do in order to stay healthy during this time. But before going to the interview, here are some guidelines offered by the CDC on what we can do to protect ourselves. Stay at home as much as possible unless you need to go to the grocery store or pick up other necessities. Wear a cloth face cover when out in public. Cloth face coverings should not be placed on your young children under age 2 or anyone unable to remove the mask without assistance. Keep 6 feet between yourself and others, and remember the cloth face cover is not a substitute for social distancing. Some people without symptoms may be able to spread the virus. Therefore, when you cough or sneeze, use the inside of your elbow or cover your mouth and nose with the tissue, and then throw that tissue away and wash your hands. Wash your hands regularly with soap and water for 20 seconds. Use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer that contains at least 60% alcohol if soap and water are not available. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth if your hands are not clean. Clean and disinfect objects and surfaces you frequently touch, such as your phone, laptop, doorknobs, handles, light switches, tables, countertops, faucets, and more. Stay home and self-isolate from others in the household if you feel unwell. So those are some of the guidelines on how to protect ourselves.
Okay, good. Well, thank you for being here today to share remedies on what people can do in order to stay healthy, try and prevent themselves from any illnesses, and especially right now with the concerns of COVID-19. So I appreciate you taking the time to talk about this today.
No problem.
All right, so we've got Heidi here, Monticue, Brittney, and Joslyn. Please introduce yourselves, share what you do. Heidi, we'll go ahead and start with you, and then we'll go to Monticue, Brittney, and Joslyn.
Okay. I'm Dr. Heidi Jarvis. I have a PhD in natural medicine. I've been doing natural medicine for probably over 30 years now. I have a practice known as Body Windows, and I also have an herbal pharmacy with an organic farm known as Earth Pharmaceuticals. So I just want to talk a little bit about the immune system and how fear really plays a big part in what's going on with this COVID-19. Now, I know we're all tired of hearing, to try and stay calm, and there's a lot that's going on. I know everybody's overwhelmed with what's going on as well, but this fear that sets in with a lot of us, this is a big trigger for our immune system. And to give you a little information about the system, when we allow fear to come into us, our adrenals in our body are our shield, and that shield has a tendency to get hit too many times. And when that shield gets hit, then we have a tendency to not let our immune system be as strong as it should be. We know it being our fight or flight kind of thing. But the other thing with the adrenals is that when, in our everyday lives already, we are working too much, stressing too much, not getting enough sleep. And so that has a tendency to make our system go down already. But now with this COVID-19 that's going on, there's a lot more fear and stress. So I'm going to let you know a little bit more on how that happens. This is not to take place of your medical doctor. And if you're experiencing any COVID-19 symptoms, please call your doctor and follow their protocol. So in the body, like we were talking a little bit more about the adrenals, when the adrenals start to get hit, your system, your nervous system starts to go, oh my goodness, I have to take care of this or tell myself to calm down. When the nervous system gets overwhelmed and the adrenals cannot do the work that it needs to do, then the body goes haywire and it gets confused, which starts to make the immune system also go down because your lymphatic system cannot put out the proper hormones and different things that the body needs in order to keep that strong. So that's why they always say, please do your best to keep your stress down and don't let the fear come in. Some ways that you can promote your health and well-being besides exercise and diet, and there's many different supplements out there. But when I am working with a lot of my patients, I usually make sure that the adrenals are supported as well as the immune system. Some of the things that I use is the Revita Adrenal, the Immustrong, and then a Defense as well for the homeopathic. And then to try and, you know, we can't get away from those microorganisms that are out there. So some other ways that you can help is also an antivirus spray, as well as the antiviral hand sanitizer. And anything you can do.
Just really quick, wanted to interrupt. I'm glad you're showing those, because when I go to the store, there's absolutely no hand sanitizers available, and I don't see any disinfectant sprays right now. So you'll need to share where to get that stuff.
Definitely. You know, Natural Grocers usually carries some of my products as well, but if you can't, then you can definitely go to my website, and it's earthfarm.org. I know you're going to have a lot of that information at the end of the segment as well, but knowledge is power. And the more knowledge you know how to strengthen your system, that's the best thing that you can do, because these things are going to be among us at all times. This one just happens to be a very fast transferring one to one another, unfortunately. So do your best that you can and keep your stress levels down. And of course, stay healthy.
Well, thank you for your advice for all of that. And whenever I think about, well, try not to be stressed and have these fears, it's just, I'm thinking for my own health, like, let's just, you know, calm down and take a breath. But you know, the knowledge on how it affects your body, that's some good information to know. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah, it's huge. And, you know, we don't even realize that sometimes chemicals, depending on what we're using around us to clean and all those things, actually will hit the adrenals as well. So with like my hand sanitizer and stuff, I use essential oils. I use a grape alcohol that's in there that is less irritating, because my daughter was one of those growing up. We couldn't use hand sanitizer for her because she would break out. So some of the alternatives, you know, are much better as well.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. And please stay on in case there's any other questions that come up or anyone wanting to chime in on other things. Monticue, please share who you are, what you do.
All right, my name is Monticue Connally. I co-teach the herbal certification program for the Botanic Gardens. I also co-teach at I was a co-teacher back when the store was open of Artemisia and Rue. I taught classes all over Denver. I lead herb walks with Walk to Connect, and I also see people privately for herbal consulting. Some of the things that I feel are very important that wasn't already covered, you know, that last part was definitely covered a bunch of things that were wonderful, especially with the sleep and the other things necessary to keep the body just super powered and the immune system strong. Other things I'd like to add on to that, though, are this COVID, this thing, it doesn't just jump on people. It doesn't just, you don't just wake up and you can't breathe. You know, it's not that sort of thing. What happens is it creeps on people. A lot of people will have minor symptoms for a period of time, and then it'll get gradually worse as they sort of just go on with their daily lives or aren't being aggressive enough. What I can't stress enough is the aggressive aspect. Soon as you feel, especially under these circumstances, you have to treat each little itch, you know, each little cold, that first little post-nasal drip, whatever you've got going on, you have to treat it very seriously right now. We can't wait for it to get to its worst. I've talked to people that are saying, hey, I'm having some of these symptoms where I'm feeling a little slight fatigue, like some of the early phases, you know, like, oh, I'm feeling slightly fatigued. I'm feeling slightly off, you know, I'm feeling some slight tension in my lungs, but I'm just going to take a nap, you know, and hope it goes away. And really what they should be doing is actively putting the things into them that can add to it while they sleep. You know what I mean? You don't want to be cold during this period. And what I mean by cold is not just temperature wise, but also depressed. Cold and depressed immune system is not a highly functioning immune system. Sure, there's some immune systems that overwork, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the normal immune suppressed, immunocompromised person that's not getting the that's may have too much sugar in their diet, for example, or too much stress. You know, they're doing things that aren't necessarily keeping their immune system strong. So when it hits them, you know, and they want to slow down and continue to use the same habits, you know, the worrying, the not getting the sleep and things like that, you know, they have a much higher risk, you know, than someone that has a higher immune function going on. So, you know, I teach people to kind of be aggressive. You know, soon as you get that first little sniffle, you know, that first little itch, you want to attack that with something that's known to be effective and something that's highly antiviral. You know, so one of those things is echinacea. You know, I highly recommend the echinacea 3 tincture. Sprouts has a really good high quality echinacea 3 tincture from Vitality Works that works very well when you feel that first onset. There's some other things that you can be really aggressive with, like red raspberry leaves, for example. Red raspberry leaves are very high in vitamin C. They tone the tissues and the mucosal lining, and some people in some cases have actually get diarrhea symptoms from this virus. So, you know, it also helps with diarrhea.
Now,
Nettles.
Where do you get red raspberry leaves?
Well, I actually sell red raspberry leaf, but I sell it in a mixture that I feel is specifically really strong for this particular ailment. It's called Bear Strength, and you can get it on Girodon. That's Jiridon Apothecary, APOTHECARY.com, GirodonApothecary.com. There's a formula I have called Bear Strength that has the red raspberry leaves, so you can be aggressive, because when you feel that first little itch, it's a race for the lungs, and you want to beat that virus to the lungs before it can get there and start destroying the cilia, you know, and starts making it harder for you to cough up the things that aren't necessary. Another one that I put in that same mixture is called nettles. It's a very high mineral tea or high mineral herb that has a high lung affinity. It goes right to the right to the lungs and starts to really strengthen the lungs. It's anti-inflammatory. It also moves the blood, you know, to create motion, you know, so that things, just in case your blood is all like sticky and things aren't moving, you know, it increases the blood charge to where you're assimilating the nutrients you need better, and also expelling the needs. Because if you're mineral deficient, that's not going to help you either, you know. So nettles is very high high in minerals, you know, potassium, magnesium, and things like that. And then lastly, what's in that mixture is holy basil. You know, holy basil is very nice and warming to help sort of like heat up the body, so that the body doesn't have to put so much energy into cooking out and heightening the immune system to sort of fight the disease. You know, you kind of want to you don't want your body to have to use its backup reserves, you know, to heat up the body like in a fever. You know, you want to beat the body. I say beat the body to the symptom. You know, before your body has to heat itself up, how about you heat up your own body as much as you can, you know. But holy basil it's an expectorant, so you're going to start coughing things out of those lungs, getting the things out faster. You know, it's once again going to modulate the immune system. Because it's already been used to help reduce asthma symptoms already, you know. But so with those 3 herbs, I put them all together in a Bear Strength tea that I would recommend people drink 3 times a day as a preventative as well, you know. And I think one of my main things as far as being aggressive is saying, hey, you know, don't wait to put these protective things into your body. Don't wait to heat the body up with the onions and the lemons and the garlics and things like that. Because I tell people that don't have sophisticated herbs to keep the body warm, you know. And once again, with warm, I'm not only talking about temperature, I'm talking about in motion, and which segues also into exercise and things of that nature. So, you know, once again, my 2 big messages are be aggressive, and the other one is just don't wait till it gets to its worst to do something.
Yeah, some more preventative measures, like what can you do before you start to feel any type of symptoms? Make sure you can beat it before it gets you.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, still stay on in case there's anything else you'd like to add. That brings me to why I am so happy to have Brittney and Joslyn on, because they're about fitness and nutrition. So thank you, ladies. Please share, how fitness is great for your mental health, and in order to maybe ease those worries and fears and just be healthy and build your immune system.
Whether it's doing a full-blown workout or just getting outside to walk around, the body functioning like how it needs to, because it's that inactivity that allows for a lot of just sickness and things to come over, along with what you're feeding your bodies and exposing yourself to. So that's just something that we're constantly encouraging our clients, like even if you don't have that motivation to get up and do one of our 15-minute high-intensity virtual trainings, get outside, walk around, do meditative walks. It doesn't even have to be anything high impact or high intense, but just something that's really to feed the mind, the body, and the spirit all together. And that's something that we strongly believe that fitness does. It helps to produce those happy chemicals, those chemicals that's really just getting you charged up and producing those hormones that, just make you feel good and motivated. So doing something that's active first thing in the morning is going to be a great way to jumpstart your day. It also helps inform your eating or your eating style for the day, because if you're inactive and then you just roll out of bed and roll into your day, I mean, usually your metabolism isn't really activating like how it can be if you were to be working out. And so you're hungry, but your body's not really burning like how it would if you were working out. So retaining muscle, your muscle mass is a huge part of your metabolism, and building that muscle mass, it has a direct correlation with your metabolism. So as our muscle mass decreases, our metabolism begins to slow down, and that's when we, might be packing on that quarantine 15. So really just trying to do something that challenges your body, challenges your mind, and yeah, just having fun with it. So we are thankful that we're still able to keep a group aspect, but obviously virtually with our training, through our virtual training, and that really helps with keeping our clients motivated. They could see, some of their friends and former members that, they would work out with, pushing just as hard as they would when they were in our club. And speaking of, we are owners of Colorado First Fitness and Nutrition Club for women of color, called Fit and Knitting. And so we totally had to go from a brick and mortar in-person business to 100% virtual. So we managed to overnight. We managed to do that overnight. So we're thankful for technology, and also our clients, they haven't missed a beat. They're still receiving, they still have access to training multiple times a day, mornings and afternoons. We also do stretch classes after every training. They're still getting that opportunity to be consulted by their nutrition coach. And so we're just keeping them supported at all costs, because we know how important it is for your health, for just your sanity. And many people have even gotten their family, members involved that they're being quarantined. So it's just been great all around.
I wanted to share that.
So I'm done. Okay.
Just really quick, I wanted to touch on what Brittney was saying. A lot of people sometimes it is hard to be motivated to get up and do anything. So I like how you're like, at least just try and get up and go for a walk and get some sunlight, get some vitamin D. So I think that's good, because then once you get started, then you keep doing that routine, then you can get motivated in order to start doing more. So I'm thankful that you mentioned that, because sometimes some people, it's hard to get motivated, because I'm one of them. So and then there was also there was something else you said, but sorry, Joslyn, I didn't mean to cut you off, because I know you wanted to share, but I just wanted to touch on a couple things Brittney said. If it comes back to me, I'll say what I was going to say, but go ahead, Joslyn.
Okay, well, about that motivation, like, that is key, and part of what we do as far as being a physical club is we stress habit change, and just really finding ways in our lifestyle to do things repeatedly. And that could be challenging when you're busy and in the world, and then right now, with us being in quarantine, it's extra challenging, because it's very easy for us to pick up habits that aren't necessarily the most healthy ones for us. So with that, you just kind of want to think about what's one really little tiny thing that you can do that was maybe a better or a healthier choice than you made yesterday, today. And then every day you want to approach that same mindset. Like, okay, I didn't drink enough water yesterday. I'm going to drink a little bit more today, and just keep adding on to that. Just really being careful not to overhaul your entire lifestyle overnight. You don't want to put that pressure on yourself, especially when it comes to fitness and nutrition. Like in quarantine, this is the wrong time to be on a diet, but this is the best time to focus in on what is your lifestyle practice and what are you doing every day to help you be well. So on the nutrition side of things, one of the things that I help our clients with is understanding what's feeding them on and off their plate. So we obviously know the food that we eat on our plate is nutrition, right? We need to have protein, we need to have smart carbohydrates, which are going to be your fruits and your vegetables and your whole grains. We need healthy fats like avocados and omega-3s. But also the things in our lifestyle feed us too. So our satisfaction with our relationships, spiritual practices, our home environment, the joy that's in our life, like all of these things matter, and we have to acknowledge them and find ways to build upon them so that they're nourishing our system. But to talk about something specifically when it comes to our plate, we want to, and I have a tool that I'm going to show you guys. We want to remember that it's important for us to eat up the rainbow. So this is a meal wheel guide. This is something that Fit and New created about 4 years ago, and it's constantly evolving. But it just takes the guesswork out of what to eat. So it's colorful, so we're reminded to eat up the rainbow. It also has different sections because you want to eat often. So right now, it's probably super easy to get meals or eat too many meals. And so you want to find a balance with that and just kind of keep yourself on a schedule with when you have breakfast, a snack, a lunch, a dinner, and an optional snack after that. And then most importantly, when you're eating, you want to balance. So I'm not really sure if you guys do this. We have each segment of the wheel broken down into the macronutrients. So balance means every time you build your plate, you should have a protein, a carbohydrate, and a healthy fat. And they all do something very important for the body. Protein is of prime importance. If we don't get enough of that, our tissues are not able to repair themselves. And you know, our tissue is what everything in our body is created. And so we need that to keep our body strong and our immune system high. And then carbohydrates is what we utilize for energy. So it's either going to be the quick energy from fruit, that if we need something to energize us right away, to use quickly, then that's a good go-to. If you want to sustain your energy, then you want to go towards vegetables and grains. And then the healthy fat is essential. So fat is essential for the body. We need to get that to our eating style. It's not something that you want to avoid ever. And literally don't have enough healthy fat in our system, our brain doesn't function properly. And the brain is the center of the body, and all the other organs are important as well. But we need that to make decisions about our plate. And so you want to make sure you get enough healthy fat in.
Can you give an example of what healthy fat is?
Sure, yeah. So I mentioned avocados before, but like a fatty fish like salmon is high in grease. Coconut oil, walnuts, cashews, nuts and seeds, things like that. Olives, grass-fed butter. So there's lots of different ways you can get healthy fat into your diet. The unhealthy fats are going to be things that are hydrogenated or trans fats, and you're going to be able to identify that when you turn over your packaging or look at the nutrition facts and see what ingredients is in the food that you're eating. So it's a lot, but most importantly, I think the basics are just being aware of how often you eat and how colorful your plate is.
Okay, thank you. I remember now what I was going to ask. Does Fit and New also offer any virtual classes or tips online? Because I know you offer classes for your members, but do you offer any tips or any exercises people can do at home that are not members?
Yeah, so right now we have a special where you can drop this to any of our fitness or mindfulness classes for only $5. Normally our drop is $20, so huge discount with that. And we also host weekly dance party dance breaks, 15 minutes via Facebook Live, and you can follow us at Fit and New, and that's every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12:30 with Joslyn. And then we do different dance classes. We just have a number of things that you can participate in free and for $5. So by going to fitandnew.com/classes, you can check out our whole schedule and enroll.
Okay. Well, I just want to thank all of you for sharing what you had to share today. And what I'm going to do is make sure that I share your your website with everybody so they can go to your site, check out what you offer, the services and the products that you offer, just so they can do what they need to do in order to make sure that they're staying healthy during this time and doing preventative measures to, to prevent getting COVID-19 or any illnesses. So thank you for what you shared. Before I let you go, you've got a couple more minutes. Anyone want to share one last thing that they feel they didn't get a chance to say?
I guess, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to jump in as my final words and just say that, fear is not the way. We want to move in knowledge. Don't buy into all the propaganda around all you have is washing your hands. That's not the only weapon you have. We have so many more weapons than just being on the defensive. With this information, with this natural information, there's medicines or foods, food medicines, sometimes they're one and the same, that you can start doing right now as a proactive offense. So you don't have to just feel huddled and afraid and feel like there's nothing you can do until the vaccine comes out or until some drug comes out. No, there's things you can do right now to make your body an armored, and well-running machine. So that's all I want to say is don't buy into the fear.
Yep, and I actually do have your Bear Strength tea that I do drink. I don't do it 3 times a day, so good to know that. But I feel like it has been helping. I also exercise and I eat healthy, so I'm doing things to make sure that I'm staying healthy during this time because I feel like sometimes my immune system isn't the strongest. So I've been looking at what I can do so that everything you guys are sharing actually does work because I've noticed my immune system change. And Heidi, I know you said you wanted to share something, and then we'll go ahead and close out.
Yeah, just, that everybody had so many good points because like we were talking about the exercise, that pushes that lymphatic, even if it's so small. And like they were saying, you don't want to push yourself too much because that can create too much stress too. So you want to make sure that, just by that little bit of walking or something that pushes the immune system or the lymphatic system to push out some of those toxins so that your immune system can be strong and not sluggish.
Yeah.
So yeah, like we were all agreeing on knowledge. Knowledge is a big thing, and do not buy into everything. Yes, be aware of the fact that you don't want to be coughing on anybody, and wear your gloves and your mask. Because things do transfer very easily. but you have more power than you realize by just knowing what you can do to support yourself.
Definitely, definitely. So thank you so much, all of you, for being a part of this conversation. Like I said earlier, I will go ahead and share your information after this so people can contact you, see what you have to offer, so they can put the power on them to take care of themselves. So thank you, and have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Nice seeing you guys.
Nice.